often do I think about the Roman Empire?
Yeah.
Pretty consistently.
Wait, you're kidding.
No.
Women all over the internet are shocked by how often the men in their lives think about the Roman Empire. But they shouldn't be. It makes quite a bit of sense, and in fact, I think it's a powerful sign of a growing problem in our modern world. Both technology and society have progressed incredibly quickly over the last few centuries. The exponential curve of progress is growing steeper and steeper, and we seem to have outpaced our own ability to adapt. It seems like every day the standards and norms within our society are changing.
You're not allowed to call yourself dwarves, apparently.
The social flux has become so strong that it's not just previous generations being left behind, but even people within generations feeling unable to keep up. At 26 years old, I'm already finding it difficult to stay in touch with what 21-year-olds consider the norm. And an area of society that has felt the impact of these rapid shifts particularly hard of late is masculinity. Masculinity itself has become a loaded term. I guarantee that many of you watching had a visceral reaction to the word in one way or another, a gut instinct either positively or negatively toward it without even knowing the context or what I'm about to say. Many of your parents and grandparents would be able to articulate clearly what masculinity and femininity mean. They'd be able to define the qualities and traits that they represent. Now, however, the lines are blurred and a strong pressure away from traditional gender roles has taken hold. What is masculinity? What does it mean to be a man? Do men matter? These questions are ones that boys find themselves pondering as they reach maturity, that men ponder as they start families, and that older men ponder as they look back on the lives they've led. And not only are the answers to these questions no longer readily available, the topic itself has become taboo. As a result, many men are finding themselves lost and unsure. And in their uncertainty, they can find solace in a past where masculinity was not only defined, but celebrated. They can find solace in the ancient world. But why Rome? The truth is, men may find any number of ancient empires fascinating, but I believe it may stem from the same basic reason. These empires represent all of the traits and energies that have long been held as traditionally masculine, and things that even on a subconscious level men seek and crave. Creation, physical labor, combat, honor, bravery, leaving a legacy. Ancient Chinese philosophy calls these yang energies, energies of creation. They represent the purpose of masculine energy in this world. And combined with the receiving yin energies that are present in the feminine, they combine to create the ideal place for us all. In Rome, these traits were quite literally immortalized in stone. A man can look back at a statue of Julius Caesar and see ambition, wisdom, bravery, vision, and a legacy that has stood strong for thousands of years. He can see in that ancient place all the things he craves and cannot seem to find. A boy who plays with Legos, builds castles, and fights dragons in his mind grows up and reads about Rome and realizes that the world is out there for the taking. He can't help but connect everything he learns to the world around him. He sees the echoes of the ancient world in our cities, our roads, our money. The world is so similar in so many ways, and yet in this modern world, one thing doesn't seem to fit. Him. In Rome, the arms of his fellow legionaries await. They beckon him to come toil and build, to put blood, sweat, and tears into the creation of something that will stand the test of time, to be a part of something larger than himself, and to provide a service to the world, to be recognized by his fellow man and valued by his people for his actions. Your place is clear, you know what you must do, and you are celebrated for doing it. Hell, if you do it well enough, someone might make a statue of you. Now let's be clear, those same men craving that past would likely quit after 4 hours of being forced to build a wall out of raw lumber on limited rations while they wait to be crashed into by 50,000 enemy troops. I don't think men literally want to be a legionary on the battlefield, at least most probably don't. Rather, they want to feel a purpose. They want to feel like they know what it means to be a man, and how to measure where they currently stand. In today's world, that question often feels nearly unanswerable. This uncertainty that boys and men face offers two obvious but equally bad paths. The first is to decide that masculinity as a whole is toxic and to be avoided at all costs. To be strong is vain. To be powerful is oppressive. To be aggressive is violent. To be capable is elitist. These men are timid. They mooch off of their loved ones. They sit alone and give into nihilism and hedonism. They are not men. The other path is to double down, to decide that what people call toxic is actually ideal. These are your alpha males, men who think masculinity is violent, that women are unnecessary and simply tools, and that they must be acknowledged as superior by their fellow men in order to matter. They're assholes. They're not men either. And if you think this sounds dramatic, if you're not convinced that there's a crisis of masculinity occurring right now, just look at the millions and millions of views on videos called all different forms of reject this, embrace masculinity. These videos all feature clips representing traditionally masculine values and traits juxtaposed with clips representing these modern false men, as well as all of these societal pressures that demonize the traits that for so long made men so valuable as providers, protectors, friends, and fathers. Go read the comments on some of these videos and you'll quickly start to see the trends. Think about figures like Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson who have come into the limelight so strongly. Are they not an indication of men's desire for guidance in a world where they feel left out? Whether their message is correct in your eyes or not isn't important. What's important is that men are listening to them. Why? Are they all crazy? Are they all evil? Are they all stupid? Of course not. They're listening because in these men they find the answers to the questions modern society has made so difficult to answer. And do we want the men of the world basing their opinion of what it means to be a man on the words of one or two questionable individuals? Do we want men hiding in a past in which they mattered? No. We want them now. We need them here. Men need men. Women need men. The world needs men. Real men who create and build, who support their families and their friends, who master their bodies and respond carefully and thoughtfully to their emotions. Men who do not need the approval of others to feel valuable. Men who understand and respect the feminine and know that without the yang there is no yin, and without the yin there is no yang. We need to start encouraging men to lean into masculinity, the real kind, so that they can create a better world now instead of hiding in history. We're meant to learn from our past, not live in it. And there is so much to learn from Rome, Greece, Persia, the Ottomans, and so many other empires about creation, power, stability, and masculinity. But the world that needs building is here, and we've got a hell of a lot of work to do. Men, if you want to feel like you're a part of something bigger, something beyond yourself, a great empire in the making, take comfort in the fact that you are, whether you know it or not. You are a legionary, with the opportunity to construct modern masculinity each and every day. You stand at the beginning of a new era. You have a blank slate. Traditional masculinity has been lost and scattered, and you get to decide what empire you build in its place. Do you want that empire to be weak, false, dishonorable, evil, and hedonist? Or do you want it to stand the test of time? You can take the best of tradition and carve it into a new and more perfect form, carefully trimming off the worst parts. Every action you take, every bit of discipline you cultivate, every ounce of muscle you add, every bit of your health you improve, every bit of work you do to support yourself and those you love, and every day you show up in the world as a man matters. You represent that empire every day. Make it one worth representing. Learn from Rome and make it better.